My guest at this time is a veteran WWE superstar and beyond. It is one of the best. It's Charlie Haas. Charlie, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us here today.
Thanks, Nick. I appreciate it, man. I really do. Thank you
Yeah,
so much.
yeah, man. No problem. Hey, a lot of people were really excited to finally see you back on a national platform over at Impact Wrestling. But unfortunately, a lot of people know you got injured at that taping. How are you feeling right now following all of
No,
that?
I'm feeling really good. Yeah, it was. I got concussed. And man, I'll be honest with you. I got hats off to Impact, the first class organization. D'Lo, Scott Demore, Dreamer, Gail Kim. Really, they took care of me backstage. But also, just what a professional Josh. Josh Alexander is. Unbelievable, man. I got concussed like right, right, man. When my face hit the turnbuckle. And I don't know how I finished the match. I really don't. But we did, and he's just an ultimate professional. We got through it. So hats off to him, and hope to do it again. But no, I'm feeling great, man. I actually had a really good match last week. I took about 2 weeks off, and I had a match with TJ Perkins last week up in at Relentless Wrestling, and it actually went really well. So yeah, I'm back on my game. So I was, and he's a excellent wrestler himself. So I just wanted to see where I was, and it was a really good test for me to be with wrestling him as well.
So why the decision to be full on back in, Charlie? I know I think it was back in 2013 or something. You'd announced your retirement, but now it's like you got this concussion. You didn't even hesitate. 2 weeks later, you're back out there wrestling guys like TJ Perkins. Where's
Yeah.
this fire? Where's this fire coming from right now in you, Charlie?
You know what it is? It's man, but my kids are older, my boys. They never really saw me ever wrestle on TV. And they Man, this is something I've always loved to do, and so I stepped away from the pro wrestling. I've been concentrating on the amateur wrestling. I built that club for my kids, for the youth here in Texas. We've won the state title. We've done everything we can. And my boys, they want to they want to get into pro wrestling. And so I have a lot of big plans going on. Come March 15th, I will have the Charlie Haas Pro Wrestling Academy is going to open up in Dallas.
Nice.
And so I have that opening up. I'm going to be working specifically with tag teams and but also with individuals as well. And I have a youth program that I'm going to create as well, and start at a younger age, just to get them in the ring so that they can learn about timing and how to work in front of a crowd. No, I just, man, the fire, it's always been there. I've been a fan since I was little, and I walked away, and I look back. There's things I regret. I'm like, man, I wish you could have finished like differently. And then I see people like Jericho still in the ring, Christian, Edge making a comeback, and
Yeah.
and then if you look at other sports, like even though Tom Brady just retired, but you see guys around my generation, my age, I mean, they're able they're able to work at a high level, at a professional level, up in their 40s, even into their 50s. So, I've kept in shape. I know there's been people questioning like, well, he's gotten really skinny and all that. But man, I was coaching and I was doing amateur wrestling. It's a different type of it's a different environment where you're not bulking up, man. So, but I'm healthy now, and I put my weight back on, so that helps a lot. And man, I'm excited, man. I'm just like I've never lost that desire, and I cannot wait just to see what the next chapter is in my life for this.
So what's your status with Impact right now? Then is the door open for you, or do you feel like you're looking for other pastures? How did things end there for you?
I think the door's open. It's definitely open. They'll be coming back around in Dallas. I got to thank them again, because just showcasing that one match, I was able. Man, I'm booked all the way up to August right now, and I'm with Prestige, Relentless, and if we have other things going on right now. We're in talks with tours overseas as well. But I just that just being able to showcase again on a higher level, and the platform that they let me showcase my talents on again, open up a lot of doors. Someone reported that I died, so so that helped the Charlie Haas is not dead T-shirt sales.
Sure.
So, yeah, man. So we and that was unfortunate, because the story about that, someone's like, Charlie Haas fatally killed. And man, my mom saw that. My ex-wife saw that. My kids saw. People at Shelton, they're trying to get a hold of me, and I'm like, man, I didn't die. It was unfortunate, but I'm good. I'm here. So
What a weird experience to
yeah,
live through your own
Yeah.
fake death, right? Where people feel that you are not there, but you are actually there. That's got to be a weird experience, man.
Yeah, it is weird. I felt bad because after my it's harder on my family. I think when they read that and they couldn't get a hold of me,
Yeah,
especially after my brother dying. It's something
right.
that's something my mom doesn't want, like another son dead. Or my
Yeah.
sister's great. So yeah, so it was unfortunate, but but you know what, I'm here, man. So it's just I'm here. So
Well,
which is good.
you actually came up when I was down in St. Louis here this past weekend. I was on the Royal Rumble Media Row, and I had a chance to talk with Shelton Benjamin. And I asked him,
Ah,
I had a chance to bring you up, and I had mentioned to Shelton that you had been out there and said that you were interested in reforming, and he said the door's wide open. You guys are always talking and great communication. I mean, how does it feel to
no.
know that he's an advocate for it? I mean, has there been any talks, any furthering of that possibly coming to fruition in WWE, anything like that?
Hey, that's a great question, Nick. I so I think now that they've seen that I'm back where I am, that I'm working continuously now. Hopefully, that inevitable door is opens. If it's not, I mean, just crack it open and I'll knock it in for him. But no, something. Sean and I are, we're best friends. We talk all the time. I talked to him like 2 days ago, and he would do it, and I know I would too. It's just the powers to be, would they go for it. I think if it's the right storyline, why not? I know they have something going on with him and Cedric, and I don't want to interfere with that. I'd love to be part of it, but I just whatever I can help Shelton out with, which make him just to keep his run going up there, or it could also help me out as well. But one good thing is, no matter where, when we tag, and this has happened in the past, whether it's Ring of Honor or on the Indies or overseas, outside of WWE, like we don't miss a beat. Like it's like we did this for so long, and like I said, it's like it's like talking to a long lost friend. You haven't talked to him forever, but when you do see each other, it's right where you left off. And that's how it is when we're in the ring. So yeah, dude, I'm down for it. I would love to have WGTT back together. I'd love to have that.
And how much influence do you feel like that WGTT run, and Kurt Angle in particular, how much influence did that have on your career? How much did that help mold you into kind of the pro wrestler that you became?
I mean, I think I think it had a lot to do with, it had a lot of, it had a lot to do with how my career went, how, successful. I mean, I think it proved to everybody, people don't realize, like, when we were thrown into that situation, it was right after my brother died. So,
Right.
I was just getting over that, and Team Angle was supposed to be Russ, myself, Shelton, and Kurt. It was supposed to be us four. And when Russ died, it got put on hold, and then they came back to it. And they said, "Look, man, we're gonna put you and Shelton together. Arn Anderson's gonna, really work with you guys over the next year, and we want to get you guys ready for that. And this is where we're going." And man, you know what? Thank God for Shelton, because he had the same work ethic that I did. It wasn't like two individuals. It's like, all right, we want to be the best tag team we can. We have the best person in the history of tag team wrestling working with us, a mentor like Arn Anderson, and why not? So man, we showed up every day, eager to learn, and I mean, that had a lot to do, I think, with Arn putting his stamp of approval on us. That had a lot to do with my wrestling career, knowing that one of the guys I looked up to, one of the Hall of Famers, working specifically with Shelton and I to develop us to become the world's greatest tag team. And I really believe that we are in a top 50 tag team in the country, in the history. So it had a lot of influence on me, the whole Team Angle run and the world's greatest tag team.
Do you still keep up with the WWE and or AEW product? Do you still watch these things regularly or no?
Yeah, no, I did. Last night I watched a hell of a match with Punk last night. Great match, man. Yeah, and the FTRs. I'm watching everything that's going on with the tag teams. I like that the tag teams mean something a little bit more in AEW. I really believe tag team wrestling could come back to being a powerhouse, or main event, like it did back in the 80s and 90s and early 2000s. I really feel, WWE. I watch what they're doing as well. I'm always looking out for Shelton. So, and my kids are always up to it, But I'm also looking at MLW. I'm looking at GCW. I'm a big fan. So, and I think this is a perfect time right now to be a fan of pro wrestling.
Yeah, for sure. And so, like, when you see that AEW product or even GCW, I mean, that's a much grittier kind of environment than you get over at WWE. Do you get excited by the idea of maybe getting to present yourself in a space like that that's not kind of the bright, shiny world of Vince McMahon?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, people forget before I even signed with WWE, Russ and I were on the independents for about 5 years, and we started out in the Northeast, so we were with Jersey All Pro and CZW before Ring of Honor ever took off. So I mean, we were cutting our teeth in a lot of hardcore matches. That was the thing. ECW was blowing up, so we're right in the Northeast in New Jersey, so up in North Jersey with Jersey All Pro, and then you go down to South Jersey to CZW, and then ECW was right there in Philly, right across the bridge there. So we would I mean, we were in that area at that time, and I was breaking in with Homicide and the Hit Squad and Low Key and the SATs, and I mean, so we all played a part in that. I remember CZW, we didn't have the doors back then. They would set up plywood, so you'd get you'd get thrown through plywood, or so it was just it was different, man. A lot, it was different. But I remember Nick Cage starting out, and I remember Eddie Kingston, all of them starting out up there. So yeah, I mean, I can see myself there. I mean, I why not? I done it before. I like that. I like those type of atmospheres. That's where I started.
Yeah, and you mentioned Ring of Honor there. I didn't know if you wanted to give your thoughts on what it's like to watch that place kind of go on hiatus, I guess is what they're calling it at the moment.
Yeah, and here's my brother and I, we broke into Briscoes. We were one of the first teams to break them in through ECWA with Jim Kettner, and they were notorious. Jim Kettner is known for the Super 8 tournament, and that was a big tournament back in the day. But yeah, and I saw that, to get back to the Briscoes, I saw that they are inducted into the inauguration of the Hall of Fame for Ring of Honor. So I'm happy to hear that. Well deserved. And man, I loved Ring of Honor. I had the best time. Shelton and I were able to come back together as a team and talk about great tag teams there. You had the All Night Express, you had the American Wolves, you had the Kings of Wrestling, you had, Generico and Cabana. I mean, there's so many great tag teams that were there that we wrestled. And to be a part of it and to be able to hang with the guys, the Briscoes, of course. And I really hope they are on hiatus. I mean, they say they're coming back. They got some matches planned at Dallas here where I live for WrestleMania week. And man, I don't want to see any promotion closed down. I don't want to see that, man, because like I said, man, you go on internet TV and you can pull up all these different promotions to watch. I think PCW Ultra is doing a hell of a job. They got great production as well. But man, I don't want to see anything shut down, because it's another place where the guys lose the work, Yeah. So I really hope they come back strong.
Well, back over at WWE, one of our writers hit me up when they found out I was talking to you, and wanted me to ask about how Kurt Angle has noted that you, Shelton, Brock, and Big Show all travel together, and they wanted to know what is Brock Lesnar like to just be on the road with as a travel companion.
Well, man, if you love country music, then you're gonna get along great, So, and I was born, grew up in Oklahoma. I'm a country music man. I mean, I was an '80s hair band guy, and then I didn't get into the whole grunge that much, although I do like Pearl Jam. And that's when Garth Brooks took off. So I mean, I became a country music fan after that. So so Brock and I got along great, man. We would we even when we were overseas, like we'd find the country bars, and we were in there listening to country music, drinking beer, and man, that was it, man. So we both like to fish. So yeah, I mean, Brock's a great guy. He's a hell of a guy, man. And Kurt and Shelton, Big Show. I love we're traveling with Big Show, man. Great stories with him and Shelton, man. But yeah, dude, it's the Brock. As long as you like country music, man, you're good to go.
When you say the country music, I think about his current look right now with the flannel cut off and the blue jeans.
Yeah.
Is this the most authentic Brock Lesnar that we've maybe ever gotten in WWE? You think what we're getting right now?
Yeah, I mean, you got to think, he grew up in South Dakota on a dairy farm, and that's not much different than what you're wearing out there. The jeans, the cutoffs, the flannels. I mean, it's basically, when you go to Belle Hay during the summer, everyone thinks, you take your shirt off on. Hey, no, man, you're in jeans and a flannel, because even if it's 105 degrees out, that alfalfa hay, it's like razors, man. It's sharp. So you got to use a flannel, and you got, gloves to throw that bales of hay, which, 50, 75-pound bales of hay up onto the flatbed truck, So, yeah, I mean, it's hard work. And I think he is showcasing that, man. He's proud of his heritage, and he grew up on a dairy farm. So, I mean, that's what he did his whole life. So I think he's really right at home. That's basically what he wears probably when he's at home.
What did you think of him finally tangoing with Lashley, man? That was a match a lot of people have been waiting for.
Yeah. I think it's great. I really wish it would have been a WrestleMania match. I mean, but I think they're going. they got another direction going, and I think we'll come back to it. But yeah, I think finally you got to see two great wrestlers, two people that were really, really tough in the octagon and going at it. So it was good to see. It was good to see. But it's been a long term. It's been a long time coming.
And coming back kind of to Shelton here, he and Brock have so much history together, right? Like even before WWE. You feel they've missed the boat not kind of doing something with that between those two while they still got some time here?
Yeah, and here's people don't understand. Shelton Benjamin was the heavyweight prior to Brock at University of Minnesota. And Shelton he took third twice, two-time national champion, and two-time All-American. And he is, one of the best amateur wrestlers, heavyweights, and Minnesota produces a lot of great heavyweights. And so what was great to see, as soon as they knew that when Shelton was getting ready to graduate, they had to bring a heavyweight in to replace him. And they came across Brock, and what's amazing is no one even signed Brock. No one even knew who Brock was. They saw him at an open tournament and he was throwing people around and you heard these noises, like people just getting thrown and bodies like just letting out air. Like, what is going on? They looked over there and they see this machine and they're like, well, who are you here with? He's like, man, I'm no one. I just signed. I'm unattached. I'm open. And they're like, well, they gave him a full scholarship. Like, you're coming to Minnesota, buddy, because Shelton's getting so when Shelton graduated and it was his eligibility was up with the NCAA, he became Brock's coach. So he was in the room training Brock, Shelton's nemesis was Stephen Neal in the amateur, and Shelton, that's who Shelton always lost to, like in the semis of the national tournament. And that Stephen would go on to win the national title. And that's the one and Stephen Neal's the one that beat Brock's junior year for the national title, and he went on, Stephen Neal's, he went on to be a three-time Super Bowl winner with the New England Patriots, for an offensive line. So he was a hell of an athlete himself. But, Shelton was Brock's coach, and he was there, and he helped Brock win the national title his senior year. I mean, he played a primary role in that.
Man, I knew it went deep. I didn't know it went that deep. Like, there's a hell of a package put together there with these two.
A hell of a package, And there's and even if you want to even bring Gable Stevenson into the mix, because he's at University of Minnesota, and
right.
And the head coach in Minnesota, Coach Agam, that was Shelton's roommate all through college. He was a hell of a wrestler. So there's a big storyline there, and really big storyline, and I think they're missing the boat on. There's no reason why that couldn't be Shelton and Brock. Wrestling each other at Mania. That could be a main event match, especially if you want to go to OVW and the Minnesota Stretching Crew too. So,
the Pro Wrestling Universe is coming to your backyard at Dallas here, WrestleMania weekend, Charlie. This is very exciting, bringing so many wrestling fans to the city. I understand you're doing a couple things to try to grab some attention over there while there's so many people on site. Yeah,
true. SWE is running with World Class, and we also have another big joint venture with another promotion that we're going to release that out soon here in the next couple of days, who that's going to be. But we're going to be at Southern Junction. It's going to be 3 days in a row, the 31st, 1st, and 2nd. We're doing at times where we're not running head-to-head with WWE. But it's a great time. I think it's going to be one of the best WrestleManias because everything's open now. The pandemic's kind of slowed down, so everybody is really, going to be coming in and looking forward to this. Dallas is hosting it. And man, I'm just looking forward to it. It's a really, really great time to be like I said, to be not only a wrestler, but to be a fan. Of course, you got the WrestleCons coming up, all the other promotions like MLW, Ring of Honor, Impact, New Japan, they're all going to be here too as well, competing. So, but I'll be there with SWE and World Class, so I'm looking forward to it, man.
Yeah, and you had a chance to catch up with Matt Cardona recently as well. I guess that's going to be dry. Yeah. We're recording this. We're going to release this on Friday, so this will already be available to everybody because it's coming out today, Thursday. Yeah. So, what did you two get the chance to chat about?
We had a great time. So, so Matt and I, we go way back. We've wrestled each other a couple times at WWE, but I was really I saw him at Impact. We reconnected. I asked him if he'd be on my podcast. He said definitely. And then I was listening to one of his podcasts, and the thing I was like, oh, I got to get him on this. Is that he's like, I'm looking at all of Charlie Haas's action figures, and he goes, and Myers goes, don't say it. He goes, I think he had more than he really deserved. So right off the bat, I got Cardona. I go, I'm so happy for you, Matt, man. You really have reinvented yourself. I mean, you're taking it by storm from Zack Ryder to Matt Cardona. But I got to ask you a question, man. Do you really think I have more action figures than I deserved? And he was like, it froze him. He didn't know what to say. So and then we started laughing. I go, man, I'm just joking with you. Yeah, but dude, it is one of the best podcasts because dude, we tell stories and we are just laughing our whole. It's like just on the phone, like just having a regular conversation. So that's going to drop today, the 3rd on at 4:00 p.m. And like I said, like it'll be on after that. So it's going to be fun.
Cool. And where can people go to go find you, follow you, support you, all those things in general, Charlie?
Yes, sir. It's going to be. I'm at Charlie Haas on Twitter, at Wrestling's Greatest Podcast on Twitter. I'm on the Real Charlie Haas Facebook fan page. Also the Real Charlie Haas Instagram, and then I am also on what else am I on? LinkedIn. So and go to Pro Wrestling Tees for Charlie Haas. For the t-shirt.